Hello and welcome to Review and Maintain a Website. In this first lesson, we'll be looking at basic principles of website design. So the first one we're looking at is accessibility. And accessibility has a number of things. When we think about accessibility, we think about making our website accessible to disabled people or able to be used by disabled people, but it's basically making it usable by a range of audiences, not just disabled people. So when we look at alt tags, okay, we can see that they're the pop-ups that hover over an image, okay. They're designed to help people to see images that may not appear because the page hasn't loaded or whatever, but they're also really important for screen readers. So blind people obviously interact with the web through a screen reader. It reads the text through to them so they can see it, but a alt tag will tell people what's in an image that obviously they can't see. Color blindness is a big problem with a lot of people. This is an example of what red-green color blindness looks at, where you can see the red here and the green here are very similar shade. And so if these two colors were next to each other, then that would obviously be a problem. So it's important to design your website with color blindness in mind and to make sure that the vast majority of people can see the website with enough contrast to be able to understand it. When we look at contrast as well, we can see the effect of different colors on top of each other. White on black or black on white is always the best contrast, okay? You've got light and dark on top of each other. Light on light doesn't work great. Dark on dark doesn't work great either. Over here we've got an example of light on dark as well, but the gray is just a little bit too dark to give us perfect contrast. However, it is it's not a bad option, it's just not perfect contrast, which you get over here. Desktop versus mobile is important too. In Google Sites, we design our websites primarily for a desktop platform, but you can switch in the preview view to see what it looks like on mobile phones. It's important you test it on both to make sure it's accessible to all people who use your website. We next look at clarity, and firstly simplicity. So when we're looking at this, we can see a very simple website over here, the iPhone website, the Apple website. Over here we can obviously see a very cluttered website. So it's important that our website is very simple so that people can actually get to where they need to get to and see the message that the company is looking to promote. Look at familiarity, and again we see the Apple website, but we also see another website. This is a fairly standard website design. Navbar at the top, big picture in the middle that shows us what we're trying to look at. So when we're looking through here, it's very easy to find content because this is a common website for most people. You need to design your website so it looks different, but also the same common elements. The navbar, the titles, the images, they're all in the same sort of spot, so people know what your where to find information on your website. We look at consistency, and consistency is important to enable people to find things, but also to see the difference in your pages and really clearly see the information and for it to look good as well. So we can see here we've got a whole stack of buttons where the different text sizes are different. It's important that all the buttons are the same. So if we have a look here, the home and the events button, they've got bigger text. So are they more important than the other buttons, or is it just because they're less words and so therefore they've made them bigger? I would think that all of these buttons would be the same sort of importance, and so therefore they should have all the same font size. Guidance and feedback is important, so people know how to use your website. So we can see here on the screen, Cast-O-Matic website, they've got a video showing you how to use the product, which is great, but feedback can also be a bit more subtle. When we look at the menu bar at the top, we look at the Your Account button, which looks like this when you haven't got your mouse on top of it. It looks like this when you do, and so you can see there's an underline which implies a clickable link. When we look at the Solutions button, we hover over, this down arrow says that we've got a menu, but also when I hover over it, I don't get the underline. That Solutions bit isn't clickable, but these two buttons are. Look at learnability, and it's important that our website is able to be learned easily as well. So the features I've just talked about in terms of guidance and feedback allow us to really easily learn that site as well. We can see that the underlines mean that something's clickable. We can see the down arrow means that there's a menu underneath that, and so on. So it makes it really easy to learn the site. And also if we're marketing a product, a video really prominent on the front page would show us how to learn that product as well, how to use that product. Credibility is really important. So I went to my spam email and looked up a spam email. So this is a common Nigerian scam. This is not a very credible email. There's a whole lot of things that make this not credible. We can see the use of capitals here. We can see the use of no capitals, so funky punctuation, the different spacing in the email. You can see there's multiple spaces here and here, and the poor grammar in the email as well. That lends us to believe this is not a very credible source. The other thing we can do is look at the email addresses. So you can see here that this guy claims to be the Secretary to the Federal Ministry of Finance, Republic of Nigeria. So we'd expect that to be a really official email. We can see here it's an email from Japan, and it looks like a personal Outlook email as well. So there's nothing here that screams legitimate. Your website needs to be credible as well. So when you post content, make sure your content's correct. When you write, make sure your writing is free of grammar errors, free of punctuation errors. Make sure your things are spelled correctly, and use the common conventions to the English language. Make sure if you're making claims that you back them up with evidence, graphs, reports, things like that, to make sure that people don't think you're just writing your own stuff, that you've actually done some research. We also look at relevancy. So relevancy is really important to make sure, one, you know what your target audience is, and two, you provide content that's relevant to that target audience. So when we look at this website, this is the Disney website. You would think that Disney's marketed to children, but the website itself is actually information for adults, so they can buy the Disney products. So if we look at the front page here, we can see this is an image that would really appeal to an adult. Here's a kid having fun with an Iron Man toy, so I can go shop now and buy that Iron Man toy, because I want my kid to be happy like this guy.